historical period, a dispensation period. And that period has been coming all along, and I think we might be been the only ones talking about it. Because if you go through all of our lectures and everything, we have been preparing for this. It's a surprise to other people. Boss man is running out again. The boss man always run out. I don't remember when he don't run out. Remember we were just joking about the helicopters in Vietnam? What happened last week and what's still happening, make that look like a joke. These people, maybe the TV was lying. I was looking at them sitting on the wheels, and the wheels is bigger than them. You see them? I said, dog, they gonna get, I said, maybe they don't understand that they're gonna get run over. And I guess 5 of them, I don't know how many. Does anybody know the number that got killed when the big planes took off?
I've only seen the number of 4, but even
okay.
that's a,
no, that's
not
fine.
count,
It's 4 or 5, but
yeah.
that's okay. I'm not saying it's okay that it happened. What I'm saying is, they was putting their life on the line, and they put their life on the line for who? For Boss Man. And Boss Man now has a reputation. This morning I was watching the Face the Nation and one of the other ones. The other one besides Face the Nation. And there was 2 ladies on there. One was an American who had married an American Afghan who spoke perfect English, been here a long time. She got on the internet and found her husband, and her husband was in Afghanistan. And she's trying to get him over here. And she was telling how he cooperated, how he did this. And the other was an ex-military, a white lady. Probably she looked like a colonel or somebody. You know, she had some authority, definitely. You could see by her age and her demeanor that she had some authority. I forgot what they said she was. So she says, she runs down how those people put their whole life on the line for us. Now remember, they were in charge of soldiers, and therefore they appreciated those people. And they spent decades now trying to get Iraqis, trying to get those people, the government of the USA, to let those people come here. And the USA did nothing about it. And they had all of that time to prepare. They had all of that history to prepare, right? So you can call it negligence, non-carism. We just don't care about people. But that's the picture that the world gets. And not only the Muslims and other people, but the Europeans and everybody that was with Sam. That's why sometimes it says in one day Babylon fell. So there's one critical period. This is that critical period. Everything that we have ever talked about here for the last 20, 30, technically 40 years is being clarified now. Right now. And everything they have been saying, the people that's been away from us, staying away from us, telling lies on us, hiding from us, right? Nothing they ever said has materialized. Nothing. Can you imagine? It is nothing that Mellow Yellow, Siraj, Lips, and all them people, they have not been correct. And we have. That's not, I'm just saying so everybody will know. This is our legacy to the historical evolutionary process. That's our legacy. That's our gift. You got to remember that this is not a punishment. This is a gift. This is not, oh, I wish the white man would leave us alone. Absolutely not. If he looked like he taking a breather, we'll go hook up some, the white man said this, boss man bites you, anything, just to get him riled up so he don't take a rest. What nigga said, the boss man, I sure. So he come back and he get a whole new, or revive a whole crew of Negroes. You gotta realize, when you're not afraid of boss man, when you ain't got nothing to lose, when I say you ain't got nothing to lose, when you don't consider the things that they consider as something to lose. See, they consider the Masjid, the property, they consider Oakland, they consider we will lock them niggas in by getting their mind on that, right? And they'll leave plenty of gaps in, so you'll see all the gaps where you'll see for 10 years or more, all the points that you can hit, right? In their court, to get your money back, to do this and to do that. That means that they had two goals in everything they've been, let's say the last decade or two, or the last decade and a half, or something like that. See, we told the people, this is 87 or 88, I told Abdul Malik when he was becoming Amir, I said, I know you're the police. I already know that. I mean, I told him that in words. He had one Arab friend there. I said, no, you're the police. I said, here's the thing, though. Here's what you do. Get your paycheck, do all that. I said, but send a few signals. You know, let us, you know. Because by 87, 86, you got to remember, those early 80s was a good lesson teacher. That's why in 86, I put on I even passed some of it out. When they got my accordion folder and they didn't read everything I think about, and they didn't study, you know, you got clipboards and you always write notes and everything. Well, they've already got all your stuff. Therefore, and they're paying attention to it. That's what white man on the line means. That he's going to read everything that I write. And that's been a sure thing for over 20 years. That's been, over 30 years. When I got here, when I came here, we already had the game. That's what we call it. We said, we already got the game. We're just going to go to D.C. to put a few little pieces together. And if we, you know, if we last 5 years in D.C., we're going to become super duper. And after 5 years, we were just warming up. But we knew what was going to happen. Now, this don't mean that you know, have knowledge of the future and, you know, only Allah knows that. But what I mean is, through anticipatory policies, through historical realities, through your recent black histories and all of that stuff, right? And colonial histories, you anticipate what boss man is going to do with you. You just, and hey man, if you're very accurate, hey, you hit it out of the box every time. There are our people that were genuine, like certain of our imams. They wasn't thinking on that level, and they had a skewed vision of what victory is. So they had an imbalanced view of victory and what it was. Like If you went to one of their lectures, they wouldn't say nothing about the white man, the COINTEL program. All they would talk about is Salat. You may have been praying for 50 years, so you know all the fiqh of Salat. But you wouldn't remember that, you wouldn't hear nothing else. And if they wrote a book about revolution, that's what it would be, about revolution, Salat. I had discussions with these great personalities, great personalities. And their view was, with all of their knowledge, that Salat is going to fix them. If they keep bumping their heads over a long period of time, that's going to either run them crazy or bring them deep into Islam. And I said, of course. I said, as long as the white man tell them niggas to pray, they gonna pray. And unless a hurricane come, they ain't gonna get no upset stomach. They ain't gonna, them niggas gonna do that. And he technically didn't believe it. He had a view of Salat that was different than what it is. And don't get me wrong, Salat is deep. After belief, it's the biggest thing we got. You know, and that's what the hadith say. The Quran says that Salat is the greatest thing without doubt. The greatest thing without doubt is prayers to Allah, praise to Allah. Okay. Then we all know that getting married is half of faith, but there's another hadith say, wa sabru wa nifsul iman. Nifs is half. Patience is half of faith. But people don't read that. Okay, the point I'm making is, we live in a very, only thing we used to say, man, that's a trip. This is a trip, what we're living through right now. It's a trip. It's a trip that you sit there and you come here and you give a lecture on discombobulation, and the next day the sucker discombobulates right in front of you. That is a trip. Right? Tell the truth. It's a trip. It's a trip. It's not a trip like taking acid and going on it. But it has some of that flavor in there, like, you know, like taking that acid, you go off on a rig. This is a historical trip, man. This is a trip. To read the Quran and the Hadith and say things about it and watch the people do exactly the same thing Allah said they was going to be. You know it was going to happen because Allah said it, but it's a trip. You know what I mean? It's actually, I said, man, that's deep. It's not deep, it's normal. They say the same thing people always said. They did the same thing. They just did it at automobile speed, supersonic speed. But they do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing is happening to us. The earth that happened before. And people be looking for Noah's time and the earth was covered with water and this, that, and other. And Sodom and Gomorrah and, you know, all of that stuff. They're looking for watery things to happen. Or they're looking for fiery things, you know. Well, actually, some hadith said the earth will never be destroyed by water again. That it would be destroyed this time by fire. Well, okay. You can pack your fire protective suitcases up, because if they don't, anybody that need any more fire than they got now is crazy. Tell the truth. But the people are they have been ran crazy by who? And what they gonna say on the day of judgment? Why did you do that? They said do it. Our leaders, right? It's all there. That's the trip. It's all there. And all you gotta do is mimic what it said. Well, it said do this. It said don't be scared. And then you just say, I ain't scared of you crackers. Bump y'all. Because that's what it said to do. You don't get no extra thing by your name or gold star. You just said, that's what it says, so just do it. But you do it in your own way, at your time, for your particular, nobody ever came up with psychological guerrilla warfare. Nobody came up with a discombobulating effect on it. And nobody ever come up with boss man bites the dust. But that's what it says, right? That's actually what it says. We just Negroized it with the Negro phrases for our time, right? Boss man bites the dust, you know. But it's a trip when he does. I mean, it's like him walking up and say, Brother Abdullah, how can I used to talk? We used to call it the I'll be damned effect. This is years ago, over 10 years ago. At that time, it meant George Bush would do certain things. And then you look at it and say, I'll be damned, he actually did it. Right? That's called the I'll be damned effect. Well, I'll be damned. Excuse the expression, the Negroes used to say that time, you know, well, I'll be damned. You know, well, I will be damned. Well, I'll be damned. Nigga did that. Right? Tell the truth. And then George Bush did those things. And all you could look at is, well, I'll be damned. He actually